Sam Houston with a top-notch wide receiver room? What do I think about what's going on? Get in, sound off. The Bearkat Bite podcast is live. I am Fobbs, your hostess with the mostest. Not a female hostess, but trying to rhyme. Whatever. This is the only independent football media covering Sam Houston football year around. And go ahead and buy some Cat's coffee. The link is in the description. You can also become a paid subscriber as well. We've got lots of goodies. We still got a few more t-shirts in the back. We still got a few more t-shirts there in the warehouse, so to speak. So we'll dig in the grab box. If you become a year-long subscriber, we got 2 mediums, 2 XLs. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead and hit us up. Become an annual subscriber at the $50 level, and we'll see how much stuff we can throw in the bag. So there we go. Bear with me a bit here, guys. We're in the lull of January. We're always, it's always trying to get stuff done, and things like that. So it's kind of bled over into what we're doing here. Man, Bobby Williams talking tomorrow. Bobby Williams, we get him in a presser. Man, I hope I can make it. I'm not sure if I can. I'm not even sure if I can. That's really sad, right? Because real life is bleeding over. Real life is bleeding over, but we're blessed in a good spot. So let me get in here to these wide receivers. Now, I had told you all, let's go back to where we were, and then we'll leave up the bias of Cat's coffee. This is what we'll talk about today. Let's go back to what we were talking about with the wide receiver room, okay? A few weeks or so ago, I said I like Chris Reed. Chris Reed is one of the few guys who actually get open and catch the football before he runs with it. And so I like Chris Reed a lot. Chris Reed, if he is still your best receiver and they still got these little guys running around, Grady O'Neal, all these guys again, you got a problem. You got a big problem. Because even if Landon Locke is pretty good, and we wrote a good piece on him last week, you should go and subscribe to the newsletter and check that out. Like and share. Let other people know if they like Sam Houston, they can find football stuff here. We talk about it, write about it, have some fun with it. Bottom line is they needed some receivers. Even if the quarterback's going to be good, they still need some decent receivers, and they came in. Specifically, I said they needed size, and they needed guys with the right mindset. Now, I'm not sure about mindset. We'll see how that goes in the course of the season. But Christian Zachary from NC State and Caleb Mitchell from Utah State, both north on the right side of 6'2". Both on the right side of 6'2", 6'3". The right side of it. I know they're taller than that, but the right side of that. It's about that's kind of the average cutoff line, right? I feel like it's called the Mendoza line, but I think I'm using that wrong. I don't know. The point is that's the cutoff, and they're on the right side of that. Weight, height, length, width. Pause. Pause right there. But basically the right dimension, the right type of receiver is what we're getting to there. I know how some of you burners are, you clones. I know how you burners are. Clipping this and using things for GIFs. But the thing about the receivers that I saw are these are the right size receivers, and they're from nice programs like NC State. Again, there's that NC State connection. Caleb Mitchell with Utah State. And that's not even when we factor in a guy like Ty Sexton from Katy Jordan. You know what I mean? That's in addition to Chris Reed, to Derek Bledsoe. So now you're mixing in Chris Reed and Derek Bledsoe with these other guys. You're mixing them in. Now, some people say, well, Avion Smith-Mack. Yeah, okay. Tim Burns Jr. Okay, if you want to see Tim Burns Jr. drop some more footballs, go ahead and be my guest. Go ahead and be my guest. Now, maybe he's worked and improved on it. You might be listening right now and say, no, I'm better than that. I did, though. Well, okay. Well, we're going on what we saw. A lot of drops. So these guys are doing what these other guys hopefully cannot. hopefully not cannot, but did not last year. That is get open and catch the football for what you hope is a good quarterback in Landon Lock. What do you all think about that? What do y'all think about that dang wide receiver room? Suddenly I like it. Suddenly I like it. And I'm hearing they're getting some more size along the offensive line too. Let me tell you, well, we talked about the defensive line. And if we didn't, we can talk about that later. But tonight is the wide receiver room. Go ahead and hit the link in the description. Get us a dang Cat's coffee, man. $2. That's it. Go ahead and get us one. You want to be an annual subscriber? We got 2 mediums, 2 XL Big Sam t-shirts. You guys can grab those. We'll just throw them in a box for you. You become an annual subscriber. Go ahead, take them off our hands. So, Michael Phoenix, Quavius Humphreys, all these guys are gone. Quavius Humphreys at Western Kentucky. A couple of guys ended up at Western Kentucky. What do we think about that? That was crazy. But Grady O'Neal's still here. Kamari Maxwell, Elijah Kason. I mean, I assume these guys would just round out depth. I would assume these guys would just round out depth. It's kind of my pecking order, my ideal pecking order. Hang on. Well, we'll get to my ideal pecking order, but let's see what we got here. What do we have with Phoenix? Let me see. Bear with me about Phoenix. Transferred. Yes, Phoenix has transferred. Yes, he's left the program. Yes. I thought he did. I'll take you guys behind the curtain. I'm looking at my little running chart here, which you guys can see. If you go in the newsletter, it says the title, "Who the heck is even still playing for Sam Houston?" Because a lot of questions boil down to that with the transfer portal, right? So it's not making fun of anyone. It's tongue in cheek, like who the heck is even who the hell's even with this team? But kids might see it, so I don't want to put who the hell. You know what I'm saying? So try to keep it a little family friendly. But that's what we're thinking. Who the hell's even still on this team? Who's what? What's where? So we're doing that, and then I'm probably, if I get some time, I'm gonna recurate it. I'm gonna recurate it again, and add in how long each guy's been with the team. So we're gonna try that. So it's curating, but yeah, to answer your question, here, let me pull it up so people can see it. Has Michael Phoenix left the program? Yes, he is transferred out. Michael Phoenix. He was excited in the offseason about the offensive game plan that was coming, but it just really didn't pan out. I think he was injured a little to start the year, and then some of it is just the new coach wants to bring in his new guys, You got to think about that as well. That it happens. It happens. That's one thing I learned. Like I said, even before the transfer portal, that was a thing. That's why I'm so big and high on the transfer portal, because it's like this stuff was happening when these guys couldn't transfer, and they just had to sit there and just never play or leave and then skip a year if that coach allowed. It was really draconian. But what do you guys think about that, though? But yeah, no more Michael Phoenix. But so with that, my ideal would be Christian Zachary, Caleb Mitchell. Get me 2 big guys. They're on the edge. Give me Chris Reed in the slot. I'll take it. Oh no, we're gonna go 4 wide. Okay. Well, let's see. Tim Burns, Derek Bledsoe. No, he dropped stuff. Well, no, Derek Bledsoe had that nice kickoff return. Okay. If they've worked on their drops, I will listen to Tim Burns and Derek Bledsoe. I will not listen to Grady O'Neal. And then the Katie Jordan kid, Ty Sexton, Kason, Maxwell, they round out your depth. What do we think about that? That's what I want to see from the receivers. That's what I want to see from the wide receivers this year. Speaking to you as an observer, that's what I think you as a fan should want to see this year. You want those big guys on the edge, the Utah State transfer, the NC State transfer. Give me Chris Reed, Burns, Tim Burns, or the Derek Bledsoe, not Chris Reed. Chris Reed just needs to get his degree and call it a day, right? In my opinion. And then you got Ty Sexton, Kason, and Maxwell, Elijah Kason, Holy Cross transfer, Kamari Maxwell, Austin P transfer. You got them rounding out your depth. That's what I think the wide receiver room should look like That's what I think. That's what I'd like to see, but you never know. You never ever really know. But that's what I think. Like I said, Bobby Williams is supposed to be speaking tomorrow. If I'm not able to be on there, one of you all do the work tonight if you can. Get with somebody before 9. Get with Cat fans. Get with Ben there. Get with Colin. Get with Colton Foster. Somebody ask. And here's what you need to know. I'll give you what you need to know. And again, taking you behind the curtain, I'm working a full-time job. So, I mean, I was during the other press conferences, but this one involves more in intensity, not intensity, but it involves more involvement, I guess. Involves more involvement. So, here's what you need to know if I'm not able to make it tomorrow. And here's what you need to be sending them to ask. Conference USA is $8 million. $8 million. That's what they're asking every school to share with the student athletes. Does Sam Houston have that? How close are they? What steps are being taken to close the gap? Those are good questions to ask Bobby Williams. Those are good questions to ask. How's Bauer Stadium coming? Word on the street is April 25th, I think, is the scheduled spring game. I believe it's going to be at Bowers. How complete is the stadium going to be at that point? I know they've said a lot of the facilities are going to be built with this new fund. How is this fund going to work? What percentage of the fund is going to football versus basketball versus the women's sports? And honestly, man, when you made this move, did you anticipate having to make all these steps? I mean, you never want to look back and have like, oh, I regret, but I just kind of wonder that. But that would be the last question. But those first ones, all of that would be first. So make sure when you're reaching out to somebody that's with some Sam Houston football coverage media, and that I just named them again: Colton Foster, it's Colin Neal, Sports Talk of Sam Houston Sports Talk. It is Corey Hogue. A lot of these people, they do a great job covering it. They do a great job. So we're gonna try to be there, Bearkat Bites. But if not, you all need to reach out tonight with those people and ask and demand that you as a fan have those questions answered. You're putting a lot of time into this. You care. You're a fan. You're here. You can be doing anything, but you're here listening to me yap about a 2-win football team because you care, and that's a beautiful thing. And you deserve to have those questions answered. So those are the ones that I would ask. And I'm just very, very curious. Like, man, this is an opportunity to kind of peek behind the curtain finally. Somebody dropped. We lost a viewer. Somebody didn't like that I made that comment. They didn't like that. Man, you may. That's what we do here, man. That's what we do here. We're guys. We can break each other's balls and do all that stuff. And women, if they're listening, like things like that, they're listening and laughing. They like hearing that real. They like hearing that real. It's all pretty wholesome here. We ain't calling nobody's mama fat. So yeah, I would try to have those questions answered if I was speaking with Bobby Williams. Also, on the personal side, my writing has expanded. I write for the Victoria Advocate. So if you know anybody that is in Victoria, Texas, have them pick up a newspaper every now and then. Pick up a newspaper every now and then. Lane Fobbs, you'll see me in the sports section writing. That's very cool. I've had a bylines there and in the Huntsville online newspaper there. And you all can see that stuff on the newsletter. So it's just, it's really going good. The writing is taking off. So in talks to do the A&M beat, so that would be A&M football. So to see with you guys here on the football season side, I'm not quite sure what that looks like for Sam Houston coverage. As an example, A&M plays LSU the same weekend. Sam Houston is at Texas Tech. So which one do you think I'm going to go to? Well, the answer is the one that's paying the most. So you guys buy Cat's coffee a few $100s. I would go out to Texas Tech. I'd rather do the Sam Houston stuff. But again, when you guys are older, the burners, have families, you'll be blessed to have one and all of that. One thing you learn though, they cost a lot of money. So every move you make, you got to be making some money. And so you do that. And because of that, I got to go where the money is. So the money is here. Well, we're going to go to Texas Tech. If the money is in Baton Rouge, well, we're going to go there. So you all decide. You all dictate that. You all dictate. Last year, we were able to go to Corvallis, Oregon, and go see Sam Houston's first win of the year late in November. So that was cool, right? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. It has me a lot busier. I've been doing full-time job, then I was writing, then I rushed to get ready for this today. And then I wrote the Bearkat bites last night, and then I dealt with some other stuff. It's been a wild week. It's been a wild week. We talked about some reasons on the newsletter today. We talked about reasons. You can go, the link's in the description if you want to subscribe. Subscribing is free, but $50. Hey, I got 3 Big Sam t-shirts. I got 2 mediums, 1 XL. If you want them, $50. That's a year subscription, and you're a supporter, and you get something free, But you can see the link there. It is talking about the Super Bowl and why Sam Houston fans should watch. So I decided, instead of typing up a deep dive on the wide receivers, I figured we'd talk about that today, and we did. And then I would write, just a fun, simple story about that. There are 3 reasons. Tyrese Knight. Now, the first game I went to for Sam Houston when they were in FBS was the Tyrese Knight game. It was 2023. UTEP came to play Sam Houston. A lot of you all were there. Tyrese Knight was the starting linebacker, 12 tackles, and helped lead UTEP to a narrow victory. So he played at Bowers. Something Sandell. It's there in the newsletter. I'm so bad with names. So forgive me. Jason Sandell, I think. He played at Bowers. So when Sam Houston won in 2021, when you won the FCS title, the starting the starting center for that North Dakota State team was him. So 2 guys on Super Bowl rosters, not Super Bowl champions. One of them, one of them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, will be a champion. So 2 guys. Check. No. They were both Seahawks, actually, so they could be champions. 2 guys are played at Bowers Stadium that are going to be in the Super Bowl. That's kind of cool. Kind of interesting, kind of fun. And this was a year in which you had a couple of guys that had played at Bowers. Kirk Cignetti, the champion of Indiana, the college football national champion. He played a game at Bowers. Pete Golding coached a game at Bowers. So did Pete Golding. That's cool. So while Tristan McCullum is not there, it's okay. Overall, this is a good question. Overall, how would I grade the portal class? Now I know that Mike Craven from Dave Campbell's Texas graded, but I don't subscribe to him, so I have not seen his grade. Man, let's think. It's definitely not an F, definitely not a D. C would be passable, which no, it's not passable. So we're left with a B or an A. Woo! I would say B plus. Kind of I'll go B to B plus. B to B plus. I mean, there's still a couple of things they could have gotten, stuff like that. Maybe some more offensive line. There's always more that you as a fan could say that you could, But if I was as an observer, I would say fans should feel pretty good. I'll give it a B. And if some people said, B plus, okay. If some of y'all even said an A, it's fine. It's fine. It's the off season. Who really knows? But right now, I'll say a B to B plus. That's how I grade the off season. So like a 85 to 89, which is not bad. And I saw someone else that observes and Reports on Conference USA ranked the portal class third in Conference USA. So that is pretty good. That is pretty good stuff. That is pretty good stuff when you are able to make that happen. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So you have every reason to feel good. I like the quarterback. I like the wide receivers. I'm getting to be okay with the offensive line. I'm not too terribly high on them. 247. Let's see. 247 has second in see. Well, that's good. You're second in. Well, hey, there it is right there. Well, there you go. Wait, who's number one? I haven't even seen that. Like I said, I haven't even had time to check it out. Wifey is gone. She's gone to some counselor conference on Sunday. So that's gonna be my get caught up on all of this day. But then she's talking about she wants to go to church and leave like in the afternoon. I'm like, nah, man. You leave in the morning and I'm not gonna go to church, and then I'm gonna just wake up and me and the dog gonna get caught up on some of this sports coverage that I need to do. Liberty is always number one and stuff. Oh man, Liberty's number one. Of course. Liberty's an NPC to me. They're like a non-playable character. They're like Grand Canyon. They're like Grand Canyon in basketball to me. It's like they're good enough to agitate every now and then. How good was it this year? All that money. How did that work out for them in Conference USA? People were talking about them as a playoff team. Remember when we went to Frisco and we did Conference USA football kickoff? Remember, there were whispers there about maybe Liberty being a playoff team because they did have what looked like to be an easy schedule. But I looked at it and said, well, that Vasco guy, he wasn't great at Coastal Carolina, so they're really going to hinge everything on Ethan Vasco, and sure enough, it didn't work. So, Liberty, Jamie Chadwell. If he doesn't have a great year this year, nobody's going to hire him. Yeah, he's not going to get to jump ship. He's going to be like Jeff Traylor. He's going to be just like Jeff Traylor. Remember the UTSA coach? He was trying to jump to Texas A&M, but he was a terrible interview apparently. Which I don't know. I wasn't in the room where that happened, so I don't know. I don't know how that guy. I don't know. But that is what awaits Jamie Chadwell. That is what awaits Jamie Chadwell at Liberty. Okay. So Sam Houston and I think though the portal class is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I have to go and see who Liberty got. But it's all going to be all right. It's all going to be all right. I think so. This, we'll over the next couple of weeks. What next week is the final signing day for high schools. And I'm not sure when the portal closes, when they all have to finalize rosters. That needs to be more publicly displayed, because I think they can just kind of show up whenever. I remember that Jake Reslaf guy. Remember he got kicked out of BYU. He showed up in the middle of the year last year. So, I guess we just got to keep waiting until things keep leaking out, and every pod here from till the season starts will be just, updating the roster. What do we think? Which is kind of what it is anyway, right? It's the off season, but we're always here. We're always going to be here grinding it out with you guys. So, but yeah, like, share, subscribe. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here, wrap this thing up. Once it posts, I'll repost it. You guys share. We'll see you all. Take care. All college football is good college football.